Welcome back to the Realtor Diaries. My name is Elijah McGowan with the Jacobi team at Century 21. With me, as always, is Kim Jacobi, also of the Jacobi team here at Century 21.
If you would like to hear your story on our podcast, submit your story to the Realtor Diaries podcast at gmail.com. That's the Realtor Diaries podcast at gmail.com. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video.
Absolutely. Today, our topic is the first 6 months in your new house. And of course, we have some stories, 3 months to a year, but that's kind of our general timeline.
Yeah, it was too long of a title to say the first 3 months to a year general timeline.
Exactly.
So they just said the first 6 months in your new house.
And I actually want to talk about, before we have some questions to spark our memories and stuff. But this week, I've been helping. I got a referral from someone who bought their house 6 or 7 months ago. And stop it.
Hey, I'm old. I'm allowed to do that.
And it's been a tough week. Sometimes escrows end up like that, where a lot of negotiation, you find a lot of problems that the sellers didn't know about. And
that's why you should do inspections.
We did inspections, and we're asking for a lot. But we're also it kind of needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm not here to harp on about that. I'm hoping we get to hear from the people who referred to sometime today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I might look a little tired.
Yeah. He's been working hard. So our question that we're going to start off to get this conversation going is, have we learned anything from working with a client or, and helping them? What have we learned from helping people buy?
So I had one, a friend from one of my old jobs. It was like, "You're a realtor, right? Like, can you help us with this thing?" And working just with a first-time home buyer, it was you who taught me it truly, but I saw it with him for the first time, how much you can play with the numbers, so to speak. Having different grants or funding or secondary loans, to do things to
buy down the interest rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do, either early on or even in the midst of escrow to help someone come out less out of pocket, or the other way around, spending less per month. It was crazy. I just didn't, even learning about real estate and stuff, I just didn't know how much it was a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as realtors, we learn so much.
Yes.
Because, not only do you have to understand all the paperwork, but then you get into the nitty-gritty of the inspections during escrow. And I'm talking in our area, it's we almost kind of know more than the average person about roofs, septic systems, plumbing and the sewers, pipes, heating and air, chimneys, swimming pools and pumps, pests, all of that. It's a ridiculous, I didn't know what a rafter tail was or a fascia board, or any of that until I became a realtor.
It's crazy to learn it through kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I didn't know what a rafter tail was until a pest inspector showed me a picture with his stick poking in through it. I'm like, oh, that's what those are called.
Yeah, totally. But and then there's the whole the title part of it too.
Yes.
The preliminary title report. I learned all about easements. That's when somebody else has permission to be on your property. Usually it's a utility company.
Yeah.
Or an encroachment. That's where it's somebody else's property is encroaching on yours, their fence or something.
Yeah.
And then of course liens and things like that.
And it's crazy how we're talking about this, and it doesn't sound like we're talking about the 6 months after you buy a house, but I feel this is how we interact with people as realtors. 6 months after the house, it's not we're in there making it our new home and buying things and doing things. We're done.
We give them the keys.
And then someone calls us. Yeah. What's this thing? And you're well, we did these inspections and we learned about this and you saw this.
Yeah.
and this is what that means.
One thing that I learned for after the escrow, it was one of, I think, my first or second year in real estate. My client had purchased a home warranty plan,
Yes.
And they had a problem with their toilet. And this was a very unique toilet. It was.
What does that even mean?
It was one of those floating toilets that sticks to the wall, and then all the plumbing is inside the wall.
Like a commercial toilet.
I guess.
Weird.
Yeah. It was just how that bathroom had been remodeled from previous seller. And so they had a leak or something happened to the toilet. So they called their home warranty. And oftentimes home warranty companies will have like their preferred service people. So their preferred plumber and their preferred this. And their regions are pretty big.
Yes. Because they're usually national home warranty companies.
Yeah. So like we're in Chico. And so this particular home warranty company, the plumber was from Reading, which is an 1.5-hour drive.
Yep.
And anyways, what I learned was that most home warranty companies will allow you to use your own vendor and get reimbursed. So you would submit the claim, then I don't remember the exact process of using your own vendor.
Of course.
But that was a huge, helpful thing to learn.
To be able to know that you don't have to.
Like I could call a Chico plumber and use them, and then the home warranty company can reimburse me for all or part of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And now I've learned something.
Yes. So what do you think is one thing that realtors take for granted that homeowners are learning and discovering, after they own their house and start living in it?
I have to think about this one. Do you have one in mind already?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of the processes that we do the last week of escrow is usually like, hey, don't forget to switch your utilities, right?
Yes.
And so I think that sometimes we think like, okay, we checked that box.
Because we mentioned it?
Because we told them, like, don't forget to switch your utilities. But then I've heard of situations where, and I think it was Emmett had one where he got this call 6 months after the close of escrow.
I think I heard about this.
And the sellers had been paying the PG&E bill for 6 months.
Why though?
I don't know.
Like,
it's
why?
Just like, and I don't know if this is us taking it for granted, but it's more like maybe we just kind of assume that we tell our clients like, okay, don't forget to switch to utilities, and then all is well.
Yeah.
One thing I did learn too, this kind of ties back to our last question, was in our local area, the garbage company, they don't prorate. So like if you...
Oh, they just won't. Like, that's not going to happen.
So like if you sell your house on the 4th of the month, you're paying that whole month bill, right? And of course the bill is, they charge for every 3 months at a time.
Yes.
So it can make it tricky. So then, we had another escrow where the seller called afterwards and the buyer, and they were like trying to get it all prorated. And it's like, that doesn't work that way.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Like, sorry, seller, you have to pay for the whole month, and that's what the buyer wanted. So sometimes we're dealing with things after close of escrow.
I know. It's tough because like the nitty gritty details that work out like that, like sometimes it's not really like in our expertise.
Oh no. Yeah. Most of the time we're like, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out and I'll get right back to you.
Yes. We're just Google with some extra tools.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I know.
Yeah. And then the other question that we had for ourselves was there anything that surprised us that we had to teach our, new homeowners about?
Oof.
I have some first-time home buyers that I sold them a house, and they were asking me like what kind of tools they should buy to have for their home.
Oh, yeah.
Like they had lived in an apartment.
Oh, so they called the apartment people, they come fix it.
That's right. Like they went from kids living at home to living in an apartment to buying their home. So they'd never even like had a home as a rental. They were always in an apartment.
Which like you need kind of a good set of tools at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to like grow up around construction, so I've had a toolbox for a long time.
Right.
Or
like you're gonna need a curtain rod if it didn't have glass doors.
Yeah.
Like for the shower curtain.
Yes.
And buy at least the plastic liner so that when you take a shower,
Yeah,
you know,
because you'll need it.
so it's like the first thing, one of the first things you should buy when you get the keys is buy a package of toilet paper
Yeah.
and a shower curtain rod and the liner.
I think I take a lot of that for granted because when I moved out, I moved into a house.
Yeah.
And so like I moved out, I took the drill and screwdriver and everything with me.
Mhm.
And like it was like, you know, you had to do some home maintenance just because
Yeah.
like even though it was a rental, it's like
Well, you could have had your landlord do it.
I could have had my landlord do it. I probably should have, but
Yeah, read your lease, young man.
yes, I could have, but also like first rental, coming from a family friend, and I was just,
Okay,
and he was like, didn't really mind if I did things myself.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of really good learning experiences, just kind of pseudo my own home.
Yeah, and
like,
little
being able
things.
to-
Yeah, I'm sure, like, you know how, like, again, I'm talking about toilets. I don't know what it is. But
this particular topic.
yeah, so the toilet, like if it's not filling up in the tank, all you have to do is like wiggle a little stopper. Like there's like little things that you learn that you don't need to call your landlord about.
But there is one that I learned recently that like it can come back to bite you. So I was helping someone buy, and the previous owners hadn't owned it for very long.
Yeah.
Like family situation made them need to sell, and they obviously didn't get any inspections.
Oh no.
And it's like that's something you really don't want to learn after you bought the house.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, that really sucks. But like you can only it's only a lesson you can get to apply to your next time you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting inspections, like the whole suite of them, is important.
Yes. Yeah.
It's I've gone so far as to feel like even if you have to like be in escrow multiple times on your next time buying a house, and you have to pay for inspections every time, like if you aren't prepared for that, maybe you're not quite ready.
Mm-hmm. I know. I actually felt really good. I went and visited just last weekend. I went and visited a client that I had sold them a house towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
We closed, and they had a condo, so they weren't necessarily first-time home buyers,
Mhm.
but they went from a condo, which the HOA takes care of the outside,
Yeah.
you know, and all they're
Outdoor
responsible
maintenance.
for the inside. So this was their first house.
Like single family residence.
Yeah. So they'd lived there, I think, about 2 months. And we had gotten a bunch of inspections
Good.
during escrow.
Yeah.
And so I was really curious, and I asked her, I said, is there anything that you discovered while living here, you know, that
That we
didn't show up on
find
a
out,
report?
yeah.
And she said, no.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, yay. So there were no bad surprises.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really, really happy about that.
That's relieving to hear.
Yeah.
Like, to know that it works. Like,
yeah. And they had gotten a whole house inspection, a roof inspection, the chimney, because there was a fireplace, pest inspection, a septic inspection, because it's on a septic tank. And did I say heating and air?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So they got also a heating and air inspection.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole gamut.
If anything was wrong on those, they probably would have gotten another one.
Yeah. So, I mean, they knew in other words, yeah, there's some things wrong with the house, little things that they were fine with. But there were no surprises, no additional things like, oh, this doesn't work, or this is weird, or, you know.
Yeah. I think that is the hard part about that first year is if there's a surprise.
Yes. You hear these horror stories. That's why people say get a home warranty, because the first year is like, people say that's when the water heater will explode, you know, or the heating and air will stop.
Like with your luck, that's what'll happen.
Yeah, but I think if you get the inspections when you're in escrow, then you really won't have any surprises like that. I think it is still a good idea to get a home warranty, but you'll at least know what you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we should be done with the realtor talk part of this. And I think you guys will really like the guest portion of our episode this time.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Welcome to the guest segment of today's episode. We have something a little different for you guys today. You'll see we have no third person here sitting with us.
Yes.
But Kim prepared something awesome that I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah, I did a phone interview with our guest today. So check it out. Okay, so Nikki Thanks for being on the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No problem at all.
So you guys have lived in your house now just about a year, right? Or just a little under a year?
Yeah, just coming up on a year.
That's so awesome. Um, okay, so question number one. When did the house officially start feeling like a home to you?
Uh,
Maybe.
I th- I think it was probably when we started to make decisions about like what we wanted to do with it, and
Uh-huh.
that realization that we could make changes and we didn't have to ask permission of anyone. Unless, of course, it was like a big change or something,
Right.
permitting and stuff like that. But at least like small changes here and there to,
Yeah.
if we wanted to paint something or work on the backyard and like move things around and take down different things, like we can just do that. And so I think that was when it started to feel like our house instead of just the house that we bought that
Right.
we're learning about. So
Right. That's cool. Um, okay, how about this? After you guys bought the house and you got the keys and you've been living there for some time, was there anything that surprised you? Because we did inspections and things like that in escrow, but obviously we can't uncover everything.
right.
But I'm sure there was something that surprised you. What's something?
I think just how much of the house like hadn't maybe been touched since parts of it were put in. I think
Uh-huh.
like is what is surprising, like just how many things were kind of maybe like let go over time,
Uh-huh.
or that were kind of like homeowner specials that we kind of discovered along the way.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think the electrical wiring was like the big one for us. Like we knew some of it was going to need to be replaced or taken down because it wasn't done safely.
Yeah.
And we were okay with that, and wanting to make upgrades at some point to the electrical so that it would be safer. And it was like one of the things we weren't comfortable doing ourselves. But
Yeah.
yeah, it held out for a while, but we blew it out a couple days before Thanksgiving
Oh, no.
in the kitchen, and luckily we were able to get a really great electrician out to come at least give us some like makeshift lighting, make sure like the oven was working still because we were going to host Thanksgiving and
Oh my.
all of that. And but that was, and then so he started pulling wires out, and he's like, yeah, this stuff looks like it's materials that at one point like they switched over to something different in the 60s,
Oh,
and this house was built in the 50s, and so this is probably from the 40s then,
wow.
because that was at least the kind of material that was around in
Uh-huh.
the 40s. And so to think about how much more of the wiring is probably decades and decades old at this point,
Yeah.
is I think one of the biggest surprises. It's amazing that it lasts that long.
I know.
And I'm glad that it's fixed now in the kitchen where we use electricity the most. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that was probably the biggest surprise, was just like how much of this has just been like in the walls or living like the way that it is like
Right.
for just decades now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good answer. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to have Thanksgiving by candlelight.
No, no. Yes, and we were able to cook and everything, so it was nice
That's
to be able
awesome.
to experience that first in the house, because that was what the last year has been, is just a year of first, this
Yeah.
in the house. So
Yeah. That's so cool. Okay, last question. If you could go back to the you of before you bought the house, what is one thing you would tell yourself?
I think that I would tell myself that it was more possible than I thought it was, and not to try to time it to be perfect.
Yeah.
I think that like this all ended up working out because this house is a really weird house. It's funky, it has a lot of personality, and it's very us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we waited for a house like this to come on the market. But I think that I probably could have actually gotten started on it all a lot sooner. I just wasn't very confident like in
Mm-hmm.
my ability to start, thinking about a mortgage, and
Sure.
you always feel like you haven't saved enough.
Yeah.
And so I think I would go back and tell myself that, maybe don't be so worried about that, because you can't time it perfectly, and so it just needs to be when it's right for you. And it just so happened that that was at least one of the moments where it was right for us. So
That's
we
awesome.
got lucky with it.
Yeah. Yeah, a first time home buyer, their biggest fear is not being ready, or, they're going to overextend, or,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, totally understand that. All right. Well, thank you so much for being willing to be on my podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It wouldn't be, I wouldn't even be in this house if it wasn't for you. So it's totally appreciated, and it's a part of the house journey.
Definitely. And now it's time for the news.
Mm-hmm. I think today we have just kind of a tips and tricks, especially because of the theme.
Yes, kind of like a new homeowner's first year checklist kind of a thing.
Yeah, and so we'll bounce it back and forth. This first one, I always like to harp on about, especially because a lot of the times if you have a good home warranty, they'll do it for you.
This is like what you should do the first week.
Yep.
First week you own the home.
Change the locks. Let's say if you have outbuildings, you got to do the shed. Sometimes you have a well, you have a pump house, but especially the exterior doors.
Yeah.
Most important part, at least, I think.
Definitely. I would also say if you discover during escrow that some of your windows don't lock, take care of that.
Yes.
Too, and just contact a local window company, or a handyman could even jerry rig something.
Exactly.
For now.
You want to be able to lock things up.
Yeah.
That's an important part.
Another thing is, if you didn't find out during escrow, go and locate your kill switches. Where's the water main shutoff valve? And go to your breaker box and make sure everything's labeled. And
yeah, that can be a really tough one.
Yeah, the best thing to do is have a partner and get your phone, right? And you can call each other, and somebody's out at the breaker box with the pen and I guess just a Sharpie.
You should get a Sharpie and a piece of tape, probably.
Yeah, yep. And then you flip one off, and then that person is saying what went off. And
that's a good one.
So you turn everything on inside the house. Yeah. Your partner is waiting to see what turns off. So then you can kind of label like, okay, that's the living room.
That can be a lot better and easier if you do it before you plug everything.
Yes.
Let's say if you just have lights mainly, then it's a lot easier to complete that task.
Yeah.
Now, this is one that the seller should have done before escrow closed, but CO2 and smoke detectors. Mm-hmm. It's important. I think it's important. Just switch the batteries out on all of them and press the test button on all of them.
Yeah, I would, as a new homeowner, I would just put fresh batteries in.
Exactly.
You don't know how old they are.
There's just no way to know.
Even if it worked and it got checked off in your inspections, just put those fresh batteries in. Unless they're wired, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yep. If someone knows how to throw away batteries correctly, I'd love to know. I still have never learned that.
Really, I know the answer to that.
Oh, thank you. How do you do it? Because I have a pile of batteries.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure there's other places you could take them, but the city of Chico has a waste dump area for toxic waste and electronic waste. It's out by the airport.
Oh,
and they're open on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
That's very convenient.
Yes.
Thank you, Ken.
It's free.
It's free
and it's drive-through. You don't even have to get out of your car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, my family's always struggled to get rid of batteries because it says don't throw them away.
Right. They're toxic.
That's really good to know. Didn't expect to learn that on this one.
Okay, update your address. Obviously, so nowadays you just go to the USPS website for the official forwarding.
They'll forward everything to you for, I think, 18 months, maybe a year.
But then you need to contact, your credit card, your bank, your employer, your insurance companies, and DMV, and make those changes with them.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times. The USPS one works super well. And then you want to go change all of your stuff. And then whenever you receive something to your old address that gets forwarded, you can see who sent it, and then you can go in and be like, I have a new address. Exactly.
And of course, nowadays, again, and I say nowadays because I'm old school, I remember when you had to go into the DMV and fill out a paper to change your address, but now you can do it online.
Yep. Oh, the internet. How helpful. How helpful.
Yes.
All right. An important one. Change out the air filters, HVAC. I've been renting for a while, and my property management sends me one every 6 months. So there you go.
That's awesome.
That's a win. But even then, it depends on usage. You don't know how much it's been used before you moved in. It could be in there and have not been changed for 4 years.
And I would say bring the old one with you because there are different sizes.
Yes.
And you don't want to have to go back to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever
Yes, there are.
14 times.
And another Sharpie opportunity, you can write the sizing on the vent. I've done that before.
That's helpful.
You don't have to, but it can be helpful. It can be helpful.
One thing that I was going to do or mention was, so when a home seller sells a house, they don't always get every nook and cranny professionally cleaned because it's not in the California purchase agreement. So unless the buyer were to ask the seller specifically in writing to have it professionally cleaned, it could have just been broom swept or not even that.
Oftentimes, yeah.
So cleaning your house before you move in is definitely encouraged.
Yeah. I mean, clean and disinfect is kind of the MO.
Yeah.
But, not everyone has the time for all that.
Right. At least do the bathrooms and the kitchen, the fridge.
Yeah, if you can. So, we have on here, review your inspection reports. Now, hopefully, your realtor has already gone through it with you. And you've noted all the items and little things you need to do. But, gotta go through it again. It's still your house. It's still the same house.
It kind of gives you that little to-do list, like weekend warrior task list for those minor repairs that you will forget about and just live with.
Yep.
Unless you make it
exactly
a point to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of the time the home inspector will mark things that are like deferred maintenance, is what I would call it. But it's like things that should be kept up on so that it has a longer life.
Yes, for sure. Another thing to do when you're first living in the house, that first month especially, is when it rains, just walk around your home and look at the ceiling, because the first sight of any kind of a leak, and you want to do that kind of in perpetuity, is just to keep an eye on your roof, right? Is just look for leaks. You'll see that wet spot show up there in the ceiling, and you got to get that handled right away.
Yeah. And another tip for spotting that is sometimes it'll run like right down the wall, so you might miss it. But like if the paint job is good, you might miss the water running down the wall.
Yeah.
But that's another indication. So just keep an eye out. And this one, I know my girlfriend disagrees that you should do this, but meeting your neighbors, knowing who lives around you, I think it's very important to kind of know who's in the neighborhood.
And for safety.
For safety, like first of all, and second of all, I just like meeting people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know when we moved into our house 6 years ago, some of our kids were still pretty little.
Yeah.
And so we made it a point to introduce our whole family we introduced them to 3 different neighbors so that the kids knew, like, hey, if you're ever home alone, I mean, they weren't like 3, they were like 10 and 12. Yeah. It's like, if you're ever home alone and something happens and it is beyond, like it's an emergency, then run to Patty's house. You've met Patty. She's cool. She met you. Run to Patty's house. She can help. So that's another reason to meet the neighbors.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then it says here, maybe once the dust is settled and your last box has gotten unpacked, maybe around, no judgment, month 3, some of you may still have boxes packed and it's been 20 years. But maybe set up a rhythm for long-term home ownership, okay. And that's why a lot of people do spring cleaning, and then they do certain things in the fall. They do certain things in the winter.
Maybe this is a southern thing, but like Sunday, mom's cleaning.
Yeah, right.
Like growing up. And of course, like you help.
That's right. Make it chore day, right? Don't forget to clean out your gutters. And especially if you don't have those nice gutter guards.
Yes.
And then check that dryer vent. Check the dryer vent for lint buildup. And I'm not just talking about the screen that's in the dryer.
That's the easy one.
The vent itself, like the part that sticks out, if you can access it, get rid of that lint buildup. It's the number 1 cause of fire in a house besides electrical.
My whole house inspector says it should be a smooth tube going all the way outside.
Yep.
Now, it says here, create a house Bible, and I love that term.
Yeah, house Bible.
So I actually have a very specific tip for this. So whatever your address is, 123 Banana Street, create 123 Virginia Street at gmail.com. And that's like your house account, email address, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that tip because it's like all your utilities are there. Like anything related to the house, like documents can be kept there. If it's a Gmail account, you could put your whole purchase transaction in your Google Drive.
Yeah.
For free.
Oh my gosh, that is a really good idea.
So that's a really good one. Just Google account.
See,
it's all
I
free.
learned something today.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Winner, winner.
Yeah. But yeah, in your house Bible, if it suggests maybe like keeping manuals, paint color shades. Oh my gosh. How many,
Oh my gosh, that's
like
a good one.
If you paint a room, take a picture or something of the lid of the code.
Yes.
Because if you're going to live there for a number of years.
And it'll fade. Like you'll need to repaint it probably.
And having to scrape paint off the wall so you can take in a tiny little chip of it to have it matched doesn't always work. And then you bring it home and you do a big, and then it doesn't match and you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to paint the whole wall. So last tip.
What you got?
Establish an emergency fund.
Ooh, that's an important one.
This one's pretty. I mean, how many of us do this? If you get an A+, a gold star if you do this. Aim to save 1 to 2% of your home's value.
So on average,
annually,
$5,000 to $10,000
for unexpected repairs.
Yeah.
I personally, in having owned a home, the home we're in now, it's a 1972 home. Mm-hmm. We've done so many upgrades to it that we haven't had any repairs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like something happens, you improve it.
Yeah, we're not reactionary. We've been putting money into the house.
Yes.
Although I will say, just because, like, let's say you buy a house and it had a new roof put on recently, don't take that for granted. Still look for leaks and things, because sometimes something happens, even if the roofer is a great roofer. We had that happen on our house recently.
Okay.
We had a new roof put on 2 years ago, and we had a couple leaks in this last storm that we just had. And so the roofers came back out because it's under warranty.
Yes.
And they just had to do some better sealing. And turns out that when another service provider had walked on the roof, they tore one of the tiles. And anyways, we didn't need to get into all that, but they fixed it for us.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But, even just having that 1 to 2%, just so like, even if you have like the home insurance and the home warranty that will fix it, those companies will usually reimburse you if you end up.
True.
If you need it fixed fast and you pay for it, usually they'll reimburse you, which is really nice.
Or you'll discover fine print and discover that, oh shoot, that's not going to be covered because of some fine print, and now that's what your savings account's for.
Exactly. Yeah. So just be careful.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Realtor Diaries, and we'll catch you on the next one.